Mariechen, if you're listening to this, then you have received my letters. I pray to God that you are okay. And that you come armed with the might of the Allied forces. I have so much to tell you, so much to say, but most importantly, I was wrong. So very wrong. About the Reich, about you, about everything.
The Führer had asked for something exceptional from my staff. A soldier who does not rest, a soldier who does not fear, and a soldier who does not shy away from the shadow of death. I have found that soldier. Or perhaps it is better to say that I have birthed him. But I'm getting ahead of myself. I had begun to lose hope in our ability to find artifacts of significance. But then, divine providence, the discovery of a lifetime, the hilt to the legendary sword of the Holy Roman Emperor, Frederick Barbarossa, the embodiment of German nobility, German power. The Ahnenerbe was sent to reclaim the sword piece for Hitler's personal collection. And they could not move it. Not with chains, not with tractors, nothing. When the mountain will not come to... I brought everything to the mountain. My tools, my stuff, the foremost weapons expert in the Wehrmacht. Gruppenführer Heinz Richter. Little did we know that we were about to uncover something that would change our understanding of the world. Even without breaking through the magnetic force surrounding this hilt, we have been able to siphon off vast amounts of energy. And this is where I made my greatest discovery. During one of my early experiments, an attempt to draw power from the hilt, a cable became overheated and snapped. It struck a pair of guards. They were killed instantly. They were dead. And then they were not. I watched as the first soldier began to switch violently, and then began walking towards me. And the corpse's intent was clear. It meant to kill me. Luckily, more soldiers had arrived by then and were able to put it down. But I had seen something astonishing. I had seen death overcome, and I had seen a vision of our Führer's future.
After I came home and took over our father's shop, I was angry, furious. Having to leave my studies at Heidelberg to care for him had been bad enough. But my mentor, my idol, Professor Lehnert, the man responsible for the Deutsche Physik, he chose to retire in my absence? My dream of playing a role in a German scientific renaissance, it was dead. I lost hope. It was a dark time. I know that our fights had turned ugly. We both said things that we didn't mean. I was convinced that the Nazi Party held the brightest future of our people. And you only saw the darkness. You saw more clearly than I did. I don't blame you for leaving. I don't blame you for your silence. You had told me of your plans to defect, of your connections at Cambridge, and the plans to join the British Secret Service. You have always been clear in your goals, but mine have been shattered. I say this so that you will understand. Mariechen, I wept when they found it. When the workers came in from the mine talking about what they had discovered. This artifact of legend. This was why I was here. This was my purpose. To bring the Conqueror's mighty sword to our Führer. My life had meaning again. It was I who sent a message to the Nazis. My contact at the university put me in touch with Richard Darra. From there, it was only a matter of days before the Ahnenerbe rolled in with a full battalion of troops. I took Dr. Straub down to the chapel myself, showed him the hilt to the Barbarossa sword. It was like touching a flame to gunpowder. Straub put Middelburg on lockdown, knowing our little village was the perfect cover. The townspeople were allowed to go about their lives, but they could not leave. Their mail was read, filtered, burned, or rewritten. Those who asked questions were shot. This is when I began to doubt my loyalties. The salt mines were converted into a laboratory. The sword piece, this hilt, would not budge from its resting place. The head of the troops, Gruppenführer Heinz Richter, would swear up and down the tunnels about this. It was all Dr. Straub could do to keep him from dynamiting the chapel into rubble. Those two, they were a bad combination. I presented myself to Dr. Straub with all of the zeal and the ambition I could muster. I knew that he would see how destiny had placed me at this right place, the right time. I presented him with my papers, some of the research I had done with Leonard. He looked down his nose at me, said my work was amateur, poorly documented. But in the end, because I knew the area, he said I might be useful. Like a desperate fool, I was grateful for this. I thanked him. He knew of our father, Marie. He had heard of how father's weapon designs had helped the Kaiserliche Marine. But he laughed that the brilliant Heinz Fischer had ended up making toys. I did not care to tell him that father had chosen to make toys as penitence, to bring joy where before his invention had brought only death. I should have listened to father. I should have listened. They have done horrible things here. Monstrous things. Straub is more twisted than you can imagine. So driven to bring about the final right that nothing else matters to him. He will stop at nothing, Marie. Straub was obsessed with the hilt. The strange physics rooting it to the mountain. Richter just wanted to make it into a weapon. From the very beginning, they were at odds. This conflict brought about the ruination of everything. But also, my first glimpse of hope. You see, Straub's focus was so all-encompassing that he missed some critical information. Information that was literally all around him. The chapel was more than just a resting place for this piece of the Emperor's legendary sword. It was like Father always told us, Marie. Art tells a story, and in the carving and the statues surrounding the hilt, I uncovered a tale I had never expected.
Geist, Kraft. The name I have given this new form of energy. It can be conducted through the human nervous systems, activating the most primitive parts of the human cerebellum. The Untoten are preserved by the same energy that drives them. There are machines now, muscles and bones, driven by the loyalty to their master. I have found that by triggering the pain receptors on these corpses, I can augment the soldier's strength and speed. As someone who has extensively studied the effects of pain, it was inspirational. I have found my purpose here. I am to bring pain to the world. I have been betrayed. Klaus has been sabotaging my work all along. He will pay. And that bastard Richter, The man sent to assist my work, to protect my facility, he has been seduced by the power of the weapon we can build with the Geistkraft energy. The Untoten have broken free. 5 times now. We are so close to mastery here. So close to building an army. And what happened when their tanks come into view? Their mighty war machines. I am building more than just rank and file soldiers. I am building something that will tear through the mightiest steel and knock their fortresses into dust. I have created the devil himself.
There is more to this than buried treasure. I have uncovered clues to why the sword was taken apart, why it was hidden, and why it was made so inaccessible. There are forces at work here that have existed outside of history, hidden forces, a secret, darker than even Herr Himmler dares imagine. Unfortunately, Straub came across a few of my notes on these possibilities. He flew into a rage and would only be mollified when I quoted his own words back to him. My work had been amateur, poorly documented. I was looking for more evidence. He went cold and left. It wasn't long after this that he started bringing stolen art into the bunker. You see, he had taken the root of my idea and run with it. If Straub had chosen to work with me on this, I could have elaborated on why this art may contain the clues we need to unlock the hilt. But no, Straub sees information as a weapon. He does not entrust it to anybody but himself. This is his greatest weakness. Mariechen, I cannot put this more succinctly. There are others. Other forces aware of the sword, of its powers, and they are actively working to keep it out of our hands. A secret organization, a cabal, dedicated to keeping this hidden. Soldiers, artists, engineers, I don't know how deep this goes, but Straub is now aware of this. You need to be aware as well. First, look for paintings created by those who would be opposed to the Nazi Party. I have my suspicions that they would be the easiest to recruit into this effort. Second, my research has led me down paths that extend far beyond Mittelburg, beyond Germany. Now you can prepare yourself for a journey. That may be all I can share with you. Straub grows more suspicious of me every day. Dear sister, I have spent my time here preparing a way for you to defeat Straub and his evil. I have sabotaged his work. I have hidden weapons and tools that will give you the power to counter the horror that grows from beneath the mountain. My hope is that somehow you can forgive me. I must go into hiding now. I'm about to release Straub's most powerful weapon. I cannot promise that I will survive what happens next. But I pray it will open a way for you to find your way into this nightmare. And if you do, I have no doubt you will conquer it. This is your nature. And I will always admire this. Ich liebe dich, Mariechen. Pass auf dich auf, Kleines. Auf Wiedersehen. It's working? This is Red Riding Hood, trying to get another message to Ravencrown. Ravencrown, I have not heard from you since I shared our location with you. Gott im Himmel, I don't know if I can get any more out to you. Straub grows suspicious and is critical of my every move. You must know, Since our last correspondence, Straub has moved up the timetable. Our losses in the east have brought increased pressure from Himmler to begin Operation Sea Lion in a matter of days. I have to go. Please, send in your strike force. Soon! Ravencown, this is Red Riding Hood. Things have gotten moderately better here due to an external distraction. Dr. Straub has lost a number of his moichlers, the undead soldiers he created as assassins. They are the most monstrous of Straub's rotten children, the most intelligent. His recent experiments with reviving dead brain matter resulted in a more conscious member of his Untoten army. I'm not sure whether I should celebrate Straub's distraction or not, however. You see, the moichlers, they have been escaping from storage. This should not be possible. Straub, well, he's furious. Furious and terrified, because they keep escaping and then coming back. They do not speak much, but one word is clear, repeated over and over again. Mutter. Mutter. It is how we say mother. Raventown, I still have not heard from you. Straub has tightened security on the island. He has taken my U-boat pens and turned them into his storage locker. My island has become a morgue. He has removed my personal guard, has added monstrous locks to the doors, and now leaves his monsters to patrol the island. Does he not know the history of this island? It is blasphemy! Even now, he carries the head of Richter around on a stick. It is his personal key to areas of the island that I can no longer enter. I cannot do this any longer. Please, send your people, now! This is Red Riding Hood, with a final message for Raventown. We have new orders. Orders to abandon Operation Sea Lion. I overheard the message from Berlin. You must hurry. You must come. Come now! It was from our Führer. He was begging for rescue. I fear I do not have much longer. Please, send help, Ravencrown. You swore you would. Please. Please.
Yes. Mittelburg was a complete loss. But I had already moved most of these soldiers to our storage facilities by the time the Allied agents arrived. And our island fortress, Helgoland, it served its purpose as well. Yes, the loss of equipment, of materials, the thousands of pristine corpses, and the hilt. These things have weighed on me heavily. But we have other facilities, other plans. I have been meticulous. Oh, and I have made sure to extend my thanks to those that I feel were responsible for these losses. But this must all be taken in scope of the grander picture. The vanguard of the final Reich has taken wing, and clouds of doom hang over the Allied forces. And when our enemies look into the sky, as the shadows falls across their faces, they'll see me staring back at them. Learn from your losses, and they become victories. This is true in research, and it's true in war. Mittelburg and Helgoland were good lessons. Our excitement in discovering the Geistkraft energy made us reliant on it. It became our Achilles heel. The hilt allowed us to bring the dead back to life. It provided the catalyst. Now we can take what Barbarossa has given us and build into something greater. Now we can apply German thought, German engineering, German power. A power that shall shake the world. I received a call from the Führer himself. The Russians are moving into Berlin. Filthy barbarians. They are burning the one-time kingdom of Prussia, the Weimar Republic, and the throne of the Third Reich. They know not what they do. They know not what they do. They have forced my hand, and now they will be pulled apart by the claws of my Untoten. Every Everyone in the city shall die. Horribly! Horribly! The Führer has already left the city. And now it is my job to cleanse it of this infection. Those loyal to the dream of our leader will understand. Someday they will understand.
Berlin was a dubious victory. With Straub out of the way, his undead forces have surged out of control. The Nazis claim to be driving them, and Hitler himself is boasting about a renewed push for Operation Barbarossa. But our reports tell a different story. German and Russian lines are broken and scattered along the Eastern Front. The Fuhrer has a tiger by the tail, and his grip is slowly, inevitably slipping. Meanwhile, the Bureau is taking aim right between its yellow eyes. Unified support from the Allied forces have enabled us to push back, to make surgical strikes against a regime that has fallen into chaos and madness. Cloak and dagger engagements have become our calling card, as we cannot stand against this endless army of corpses. We have been able to retrieve more of Heinz Richter's enhancements, the weapons and upgrades he intended for the Nazi Schäfers. Now, Schäfer means shepherd in German, and is the term the Nazis use for the soldiers who push the undead horde forwards into battle. Our core team of 4 was able to liberate the first electro-schnall devices, and we have been able to build our own improvements. The science of Geistcraft has been task numero uno for our boys down in Los Alamos, who have been reassigned from other tasks. Agent Marie Fisher has been instrumental in helping them unravel this mess. The discoveries they have been making, they are frightening, astounding. In spite of these discoveries, our attempts to combine the 3 parts of Barbarossa's sword have failed. No amount of pressure, heat, or molten steel will match them. Ms. Fisher claimed that the sword's base material is a magnetic monopole, which evoked laughter from Robert, a Harvard boy and head physicist. This resulted in a black eye for him and several apologies for her. Marie has quickly gained a grudge and respect from our pencil pushers here. Her insights into Straub's work combined with her brother's notes have challenged everything we thought we knew about the atom. Our only conclusion, backed by Professor Heinz's research, is that the sword must be taken to Thule to be reforged. That's all well and good, apart from the fact that Thule is an imaginary fairyland invented by a bunch of drunk medieval cartographers. Except maybe it isn't. At least Himmler and his boys at the Ananeb seem to think it was real. We've tracked Nazi search parties to Greenland, South America, Antarctica, all hunting for this prehistoric Hyperborea, the origin of the Aryan race. It was our discoveries during Operation High Jump that pointed to increased Nazi activity in New Swabia. The Krauts have uncovered something big, and our sources say that is where we need to strike if we want any answers to this sword, the undead, and the nightmare that has befallen us.